Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to a new episode of me being an absolute idiot on the ladder of StarCraft 2. But this time we are not on the ladder of StarCraft 2, but in a little tournament match that I will attend every single week for the coming future. No further delay. For today, I have a best out of 5 contest for you guys, with on the opposite side a 2.2k MMR Protoss player based in the Americas, a absolute chat think fat. So, the first match we have, I am going to start with a 12 pool rush because I'm going to play against a Protoss opponent. I like to go with that little strategy because I have noticed it's very strong in the early game. And also, little bit of extra information. This is actually my third matchup I am having. So just recently I thought, wouldn't it be a very fun topic to actually record and show you guys? And as we can see, my spawning pool has popped and very fast I have created 4 couple of zerglings. 3 of them just popped. Now I have 6 zerglings running to the other side of the map. Now the 4th pair is also coming in. My Overlord Scout isn't even on the other side of the map and I'm already sending in some blind zerglings. Of course, if my opponent played really well, he can actually deny my little attack. My queen popped, went for the inject, and I see my opponent has a zealot. So what I try to do is bait my opponent to coming to me so I can surround his zealot with my zerglings. Else I'm gonna attack one of his production structures. So one, I get in the wall by destroying a production structure, or I get in the wall because I'm killing one of his zealots. As you can see over here, I have trapped one zealot and I'm still attacking his production building, trying to get a surround on his second zealot. Currently I have a little surround on his second zealot, so that's really nice. And what I now try to do is getting into his base, but he, as a absolute chat, actually blocked me. And now I also see my opponent has a little stalker, actually 2 stalkers. So I try to attack his production. As you can see, I killed off his little Stargate and I just run in with my Zerglings. Also, I'm very keen currently with my Zergling speed. That's very nice. Now I try to get all his stalkers, just 2 for the moment, but I try to get them. As we can see, I see he has a shield battery. I cannot contest with the shield regeneration, so I started to attack his shield battery, and now I am actually killing his stalkers. And I just have won the game. So, the second match. Let's see, what kind of silly build order am I about to do over here? So about last match, you always need to look at your army. And the last few seconds I didn't, but even though I had won that match. Very nice and quick match. So, how it looks to me is that I'm going and trying to go for just a normal macro game. So normally what I want to do is create a drone, creating Overlord, creating drone. When Overlord pops, creating 2 more drones. Then, as we can see over here, create a second hatchery around 50 seconds, 51 in this case. After that, I want to get to 18 drones, get a spawning pool and a gas geyser. Most of the time I go first gas geyser, then spawning pool. So when the spawning pool pops, I can get the metallic boost speed upgrade a lot faster than you would if you first built a spawning pool. But on the cost of that, my queens and my zerglings, the first pair of zerglings and first pair of queens, are a little bit delayed. Normally that's okay because I have the zergling speed up and running faster than normal. So we can see that my overlord is heading over to the other player space, to ThinkFed space. But the thing is, I see his his probe went in for a scout and then went back. If the probe doesn't go back, he's probably going for a proxy, but we saw he was heading back, so then I know he is not going in for a little proxy.
We require more minerals.
As we saw, the spawning pool has popped, and I'm creating 2 couples of zerglings and actually going with 2 queens as fast as possible. As we can see, currently I have 30 supply, 31 actually. And what I normally want to do is actually go for a 3rd hatchery. It's pretty late for what I'm doing currently. And also my main base is a little bit too much saturated. What I should have done is placing my drones to my second, from my natural to my second.
We require more minerals.
As we see, after I put down my 3rd base, it's okay. It should be faster, but it's within the 3-minute mark. And also, I really need to build a overlord. But as it looks like, I am supply capping myself. That's an issue I'm struggling with sometimes, actually most matches, is that I supply cap myself without even noticing. Because as you can see, my overlord just built, so that's really nice. And I also put down a roach warren. Roaches cost gas. So what you normally would want to do is saturate your first 2 bases as fast as possible. As we can see, I'm a little bit, I'm actually fairly slow at that. Even though I'm trying to see what my opponent is doing on the other side of his base. And what I'm hoping for actually is to cancel his 3rd base. But we see he doesn't have one currently, so I'm actually a little bit confused. I look into his main, I see he is building stalkers and has a robo facility. Also, I noticed now that I have a second gas geyser. That's very nice. But I didn't put any drones on it until now. So because I want to go for roaches, I need a lot of gas. And also I need more drones, and I should create more drones. Because currently my second base isn't even close to saturated. And my 3rd base isn't even mining anything. Even though currently I already should have a 4th base with 3 bases saturated and trying to pump out some army and try to get some damage inflicted on the other side of the map. So as we can see, I'm a little bit slacking at this, something I struggle a bit with. And I think my plan was actually to go into Hydra Lurker, because my opponent is going for some ground army, even though currently I am actually scouting in his main base, but I didn't look at all. And I can see, currently I see over here, he is not going for stargates. And I'm also checking with a little changeling what those warping in buildings were gonna be. And I see mass stargate, or yes, warp gates, not stargates. So I know my opponent is going for mass ground army. So what I want to do normally is actually get hydras and lurkers out really fast. So I need to get a infestation pit, go into hive, so I can create the range upgrade for the lurker. But as we can see over here, it's almost 7 minutes. I don't have my hive tech. I don't know if I have a infestation pit. But to say the least, my working count isn't even that high. And also my upgrades aren't on point. And as we can see currently, I don't have a infestation pit, even though that's a big necessary part of this build. Because currently I just have a couple of zerglings and not even that many roaches. I didn't even build roaches. And also I'm supply capped once more again, so this is really bad play of mine. Just now I'm starting to actually trying to saturate my third base, and now I'm getting attacked by the Protoss player. Also, I don't have any lurkers currently. I don't have any army. I'm supply capped. I'm floating a little bit of minerals and gas. And I'm just not that on point in this game. I don't have the tech, don't have the units, don't have the economy. Really bad. I had a good idea, but I executed it very, very poorly. So as we can see, our Protoss opponent could easily kill my second and my natural base currently, next to my third of course. But he was a little bit anxious, he had back, and he didn't try to finish me off. So I had the chance over here to get a big comeback actually. But only if I truly tried to create more army. Like, I have 70 supply currently and 92 supply cap. I should create more overlords so I can create more units. But what am I doing? I'm creating more units, but I am getting supply capped in the future, in the near future. Also, I'm not that keen on my injects. And I see my Protoss players a little bit creeping around my base, denying some creep. And going for lurkers right now is actually really bad. I should have gone with roaches or something like that, because even if I get lurkers out currently, I don't have the range upgrade, or at least I cannot get a range upgrade unless my opponent leaves me for a couple of minutes. That's really bad, because I still need the infestation pit and I need to build a hive. Then I can create the upgrade. But it all takes time, of course. So my Protoss opponent is actually really good at keeping me just at 2 bases, while he has whole world to expand. So he's probably on multiple more than 3 bases at this moment. At least I think so. So over here I try to deflect my incoming Protoss player with some lurkers. Try to get him into my little hideout. But as you can see, he focus fires my lurkers and he wiped her off, because perhaps he don't know those, let's see, 8 hydras were the only thing I had currently. But the fun thing is currently I have 4 hydras, 1 zergling, 4 lurkers. That's it. It's not that much. My main base is also getting mined out. And I think I'm going to supply cap myself. I'm going to build a macro hatch, even though I don't have the income for it. I should have built overlords instead of a macro hatch, because I don't have enough income to spend all my larvae. And over here, instead of hiding and actually teching up a little bit, I try to finish off my opponent, or at least getting him away of my bases. So I'm down to 3 lurkers and 5 hydras. Still, that's nothing. And because I have so little army, those lurkers won't do anything. So, as you saw, I opened the chat. I was about to GG this game, but I was like, nah, I just give it one more shot, even though I have lost this match really, really bad. I wasn't fast enough, not enough income, not on the upgrades. Just overall a really bad play.
We require more minerals.
Now, by this time, he also had a lot of zealots. At least this was a okay trade for me. Not that good of a trade, but at least I fend off my opponent. He used his teleport spell to head back to his base.
Mineral field depleted.
But still, I am not even close to 60 drones. We cannot see currently the precise drone count, but as we can see with 76 supply, and we have 4 lurgers, zerglings, and a couple of hydras I think, we know for certain I don't have that many drones. I try to create, or actually build my third base back. And also I was thinking, because my Protoss player retreated, to go in for the attack. But as we can see, that was really, really bad for me. I should have taken the time to macro up before actually heading out, try to inflict some damage, because my opponent is heavily in front of me currently, ahead I mean. So my third hatchery almost pops, and I have a feeling like my Protoss opponent is going in for a new little harass, or actually a big attack, depends on how you look at it. So my third base just popped. I tried to create drones and armies. It's actually okay to have 4 lurkers, but the sad part is if I didn't send my lurkers to the other side of the map, I currently would have 8 lurkers. Those lurkers would have destroyed this little army of his. And would also have a lot more zerglings, stuff like that. So over here, once more, he is killing my third base. And I'm still stuck on 2 bases. And he has a big army compared to my army in front of my door. I cannot leave my own door without being slashed.
We require more minerals. Our forces are under attack.
So this feels a little bit sad to rewatch, because I know I should have saved up my army, or at least given up at this point, because there's no way I'm coming back without my opponent making many mistakes. As you can see, my opponent is coming in with some big disruptor hits, and I just died. So, the third match of today. Currently, it's 1-1. I won the first game, my opponent the second game, and we're in the third game. As we can see, I'm not building a single drone, so that means I'm going for a 12 pool. I was thinking, okay, first game 12 pool, that was a good way to surprise my opponent and kill him off. And I was thinking the second game, no way he letting that happen a second time. But because it worked, the third game I was like, it worked, so why don't try the thing that works again? So that's what I did over here. I'm a little bit more keen currently on the macro stuff for this 12 pool. Over here I try to surround the little drone with my own drones, but I failed. He got away. And as we can see, I am creating 3 zerglings and sending them towards the other side of the map. I already set a rally point. Now I'm setting a attack rally point. And also I am building a lovely queen, just so I can get more larvae out of the hatcheries. Currently I'm going for the metallic boost speed and also pulling 2 drones off of the gas so I can create the maximum amount of minerals. As we can see, my opponent once more let his zealot wander around on the map so I could get a surround on him and actually start to kill off his production. I am hoping over here that I kill his production before his unit that's currently building gets out. I think it's a zealot, but I don't know. As we can see, it's a little zealot. But 4 zerglings just isn't enough to kill a zealot. So I try to harass a little bit, waiting for the reinforcements that's coming in. And currently killing off his warp gate. Or gateway actually. It's called a gateway, not a warp gate. It's a warp gate when it opens, right? So when it's closed, it's a gateway. That's why this series is called me being an absolute idiot, because I don't know StarCraft clearly. But as we can see, I have killed his second zealot and I'm actually killing off his production. Also, I'm flooding minerals, so I was thinking about creating a second base. So if he may defend this, like if he gets out a void ray, he could defend this pretty easily. Then I have already a second base for larvae, droning up, things like that. But I have the feeling I got this in the pocket. As we can see, I have won this little game. So 2-1 for me. Here we have the 4th match of today. So as we see, once more I'm going for the Zergling rush. Don't know if this was a good idea, because in the last match I already Zergling rushed him. So perhaps he's actually preparing for it this time.
We require more minerals. We require more minerals. We require more minerals. We require more minerals.
As we see over here, I was selecting the drones if he wandered into the mineral line to surround him, to kill just this one probe off. As we can see, my spawning pool just have popped and I am sending 3 pairs of Zergling to the other side of the map and also starting up the production for a little queen. As we can see over here, I have 100 gas, pulling 2 drones off, creating metallic boost speed. What I should have done is first start the upgrade, then pull off the drones. So that's a little feedback from myself to myself. And as we can see, my opponent is actually creating some sort of a little battleground. Weird building. His zealot spawned on the other side and he had to cancel his pylon so he can stand a zealot in the middle of it to block the entrance. As we can see over here, I tried to confront the zealot. That was not that smart of me because I lost a lot of zerglings trying to do that. And he even got another Zergling. Currently he has 2 Zealots out. But I try to kill off his little production. And I have a little wraparound on one of his Zealots. But I see he also has a shield battery up and running because he actually prepared this time for me Zergling rushing him. So I see my Zergling rush actually failed. He getting too many Zealots to actually do anything. And he already has a Stalker out. With that battery, it's just not doable to inflict enough damage to kill my opponent straight away. So I didn't think of a follow-up, even though I tried to go for a follow-up. Went for a Baneling Nest, because I want to try to Baneling bust my opponent. But as you can see over here, my opponent actually this whole game has his second base from the start of the game. In this whole game I am on just a single hatchery. Over here I tried to kill off one of his structures. He is very smart to actually use the shield battery to his advantage and regenerate his structure. And I'm also supply capping myself. And I don't have that many drones. My opponent is very much ahead of me in this game. And I should focus fully on macroing with what I have actually. Getting more drones, building up that economy, and then trying with more army to actually defeat his army. But over here I'm actually making a huge mistake by creating more army than I should have. Just now my second base have popped a couple of seconds ago, and also I am oversaturating my main base. Currently I am going into Lair, even though I should go into Roach, Warren and upgrades and overall just more economy. I shouldn't think of the Lair upgrade yet, just because I don't have the economy for it. As we can see over here, I'm creating some banelings. Still oversaturating my main base. Just now I have fixed that little problem. And I'm getting on a 2 base economy. But really not that much to actually compete with his army. And also, once more, I am supply blocking myself. And instead of trying to go for the baneling bust, what I should do is actually just go back home. Not even try, because he see I have banelings, and of course he's thinking about that I want to baneling bust him. Currently I'm going into a Hydralisk tank, because I want to go into lurkers. But I think that's actually a very big mistake, because I just have to I have 2 bases, not even full saturated. And lurkers of course are really gas heavy, because first you need to build the hydras, so after that you can morph them into lurkers. But you also need the lurker then upgrade. And if you want the lurkers to perform really well, first of all, you need the hive upgrade, the lurker range upgrade, that requires a hive. And a infestation pit, cost gas, 200 gas, and a hive cost 200 gas. So I really should have thought about that a little bit more. Roaches and Ravengers would have been a really nice solution to this problem, to be honest. Also, if I have had upgrade them. As we can see over here, I tried to go for a little baneling bust, but I failed miserably. So, the smartass that I am, what do I try? Create more banelings, going for a second baneling bust. It's actually funny to see how stupid I am in this match. my opponent harassing my third base just a little bit with some zealots. Or just one actually. Just now I have dealt with the little zealot. And as we can see, the baneling bust, a absolute failure. I got one structure for all that army. That's really bad. And at the same time I also flooding almost 1,000 minerals. Too much gas. I'm not that on point currently. But at least I have saturated almost 2 bases. I see that my second base, the gas geysers, aren't saturated properly. And I'm creating just a little bit of army with hydras. Creating some spine crawlers to deflect any zealot rembys.
We require more minerals. We require more minerals.
Got a free phoenix over there. Really nice. Now I am going for the lurker then, and also going for the infestation pit.
We require more minerals.
As we can see, it takes minutes to complete this this little change with the armies. So I really should have gone with some roaches and then go into Hydra Lurker. And instead of getting a third base, which should be the next step after your third base of course, I'm going for a macro hedge. Why? I don't know. Is it good? Depends. But in this case it's not. Also I'm supply capping myself once more. And I have enough minerals to actually create some overlords. But I didn't. Currently some new overlords popped, so actually me over talking this match is a little bit stupid because I already created more overlords. But even though I shouldn't have supply capped myself in the first place.
We require more minerals. We require more minerals.
As we can see over here, my opponent is coming in with a bulk of army. And he also have Tempest, I think they're called, with them storms. So my hydras get annihilated. So this is really bad for me, because that was my whole army. I don't have any army left, so... Or I should create more army. No, that's the solution. I should create more army currently. I actually have a decent amount of income, and so I can produce a okay amount of army. And I have more than enough gas to actually create a couple of lurkers. And I actually should do that right now, but I don't. Because I'm slow. So my 4th hatchery just started up. And my opponent is already on 4 bases. And I don't even know if he has a 5th or even a 6th base. He's going in for a zealot Rembai on the right. And with his main army going in for the attack at my doorway. This is actually really bad. I should pull my drones away and already had lurkers, so I can actually defend against this kind of army. Because as we can see over here, I tried to attack his zealots with my hydras, but those got they get ripped. But as we can see over here, my opponent makes a little mistake and I get 3 free Templars. But he has killed 2 bases of me. That's actually really good. And as we can see on the north, he has actually more army that's attacking me. So I'm in a really, really bad spot. He's going into my main base with his zealots, and I'm hopelessly trying to fend off his zealot attack. So 13 minutes into the match, after a Zergling rush, my opponent is on 4 bases. I'm stuck on 3 bases, even though it's effectively 2 bases because my 3rd base is building. Going to rebuild my 3rd base, and I was thinking, okay, I really need to get in some damage. But what I should have done is stay at home, create more army, getting my economy back, create then lurkers so I can fend off his ground army. I didn't do it. So once more again, his zealots absolutely destroys my hydras. And now the cannons are just finishing off the last hydras I have.
Mineral field depleted.
If I had lurkers, his zealots would have been melted. Like, no chance. Especially if I have around 8 lurkers. Even if I didn't have the upgrade at all, like the range upgrade on the lurkers. With enough lurkers and hydras, you could really inflict much pain on the Protoss. Also, I'm flooding way too many gas. So, this time in the game, it's actually not a gas issue. As we can see, those little valuable hydras, I should have just not watched at them. But as we can see over here, I surrendered. I saw no way of winning this game. So, 4th match. What are we getting ourselves into?
We require more minerals.
I am absolutely wrong. It's the 5th match. And
Spawn more overlords.
this time I'm actually going to macro from the beginning, my standard build order. So drone, overlord, overlord plays 2nd base, drone, when overlord pops, 2 extra drones, 16 hatch. After that, 2 more drones, 18 gas, pool, then drone up. Actually, when, no, drone up to 20 drones, create overlord. Then when the spawning pool has been created, I create 2 queens, 1 in the main, 1 in the natural, 2 pair of zerglings, and when I'm at 30 supply, creating a 3rd hatchery.
We require more minerals. We require more minerals.
As we see over here, just not that much interesting stuff going on right now. But at least I am starting strong.
Come on, dit keer wil ik hem pakken.
Me with a absolute adrenaline. I have much adrenaline going through my body right now. Because it's 2-2, I really want to win this match. Because if I win this round, I've won this matchup. Else my opponent would, of course.
We require more minerals. We require more minerals.
So currently I am really fired up, actually. So I'm really trying my best to actually control this really, really well. So as we can see, currently at 30 supply. So will I create a 3rd base? Yes. Spot on. Currently I'm also spying a little bit on my opponent.
We require more minerals.
And his Stoker's actually finishing off my Overlord. That's really bad, to be honest. I should create a new Overlord really fast. Because currently I'm supply capped. But luckily for me, I actually already had a Overlord in the production. Currently not that much going on right now. Droning up, macroing up. And let's see what tech structure I going to build. I'm going for the Road Warren. Really good idea.
Assess complete. We require more minerals. We require more minerals.
And I am also going for a
More minerals.
evolution chamber.
We require
That's
more
also really good
minerals.
for the upgrades. Currently I should think about creating a 4th base. And also my 3rd queen just have popped. And I am creating a lair.
We require more minerals.
Also I see that my main base is fully saturated and I should really focus on saturating my 2nd base.
We require more minerals.
And I see with my little Zerglings that my opponent is on 2 bases. So that's actually really good, because I am going for a greedy build, trying to get up my economy as fast as possible, and then just throw stuff at the opponent. So if I'm at least 1 base ahead, at least if those bases are saturated, that means good time for me. Means I can create more army, get more upgrades, hell, even get more bases and drones, of course. So as we can see over here, I'm actually planning to get my 4th base. Also, I put Zerglings around every base around the Protoss, in every base around the Protoss, to spy a little bit on him. That's actually a really good move. And I also should actually try and see what my opponent is building in his own base. And currently I see that I'm kinda supply capping myself once more again. And
We require more.
yes, currently I am at 49 drones, not that much. And I'm not even making any overlords currently. Or perhaps they're in production, but it takes a really long time before they're created. Because currently I'm floating minerals and gas. But I should have created overlords much faster. But to say the least, my opponent still on 2 bases. And I am getting my 4th hatchery out.
We require more minerals.
As we can see over here, I just place a lovely Hydra then.
Under attack.
I think I'm wrong. I placed a infestation pit and then a Hydralisk then.
We require more minerals.
So currently I'm still planning to go into lurkers, but this time the proper way. So I can get I actually can get the range upgrade on the lurkers. Over here I was going for a little attack to kill his 3rd base, but I saw my opponent was heading towards the other side of the map, so while I was doing the same, I was thinking about, why just not intercept it? So I got 2 valuable units, and over here I am dealing with his main army, and he has a little immortal. Just 1. As we can see, his immortal is almost down, but to say the least, my opponent is heading back. And I see my opponent is also placing a warp prism on my side of the map. That's really scary, to be honest. Creating a lot of roaches currently. And going into the lurker den. So that's really nice.
Require more minerals. Our bosses, we require more minerals.
As we can see, I am not quite supply capping myself currently, but it's fairly close to supply capping. So as we can see over here, I am actually sending my units to the other side of the map, so I can destroy his third base. That's my goal currently. Nice shields of my opponent, splitting my army really good actually. But I think it's just a little bit too much for him right now.
Depleted. Mineral field depleted.
As we can see, I've killed his third nexus, so that's really good. And now my objective is to kill that off, try to inflict more damage or just head back. Couple of free drones. Currently I'm supply capping myself once more, and I am on 60 drones. Even though in this match I am ahead, at least it really looks like it, I should already have like 80 some drones and going for max supply, big army, stuff like that. As we can see over here, I am going for a lurker transition, spawning in a decent amount of lurkers and actually already upgrading my lair into a hive, so I can get that range upgrade, of course. First match actually in this best of 5, I got to 200 max supply, so that's really funny to see and to think about that. Also, I'm more keen on my upgrades this time, because I have 2 missile, and I think 2 carapace, no melee attacks, and I sent out a little squad of hydras to deal with that warp prism. He didn't even use it though, so that's really something. As we can see, our hive spawned and we started up the range upgrade, and I tried to saturate my 4th base. Currently I am on max supply. What I really should do is actually going in for the attack on my opponent. And it looks like I'm going for a 5th base, so that's really nice. I'm also floating many minerals and gas currently. Oh, I understand why I wait with attacking, because I'm actually waiting for the lurker range upgrade. But to say the least, I really should also going in for the 3-3 upgrade. My opponent just killed off a little overlord of mine. And I see my opponent is going and try to attack me. Currently I am supply capped, so that's a little bit sad. But on the same time I'm actually maxed out. And I see my opponent is going once more for a warp prism, so I try to intercept that before he actually spawns in any zealots and kill off my economy. Also, my 4th base is actually oversaturated. I'm still floating many resources currently, but to say the least I fixed my supply cap issue. My opponent is going for my 5th base. I really should have cancelled it, or not. Am I going to defend this? I think I am going to defend this. What I really should not do is just dripping in my units. But what I try to do over here is actually cutting off my opponent, try to get his army. I have won this little fight at the cost of many units, but because I had such a big bank, I am actually rebuilding my units with a instant, and they're already heading to the other side of the map. I'm looking if my opponent is going for his third, and it looks like it. And I just let him cancel that. As we can see, my range upgrade already have finished, and the lurkers with their immense range, and this time more than 3 or 4 lurkers, actually annihilates the opponent. And as we can see, I have won this last game. Thank you all for watching me today, and I hope to see you in another one. Bye.